guys, Lily here. Tomorrow we'll be saying goodbye to version 2.5 and welcoming version 2.6, along with its new character, Rappa. Now, regardless of how I feel about the version itself, I'm curious about this character in particular, especially after it was revealed in the special program that she's a break type. I thought we're done with break DPS, to be honest. We have Firefly, who, thanks to the destruction path, is incredible in both AoE and single target battles. If you've unlocked her Eidolons 1 or 2, she is absolutely broken. We also have Boot Hill that is highly specialized in single target battles. These guys already cover the entirety of the game modes. I don't think there is any room left for new break units without directly competing with either of them, but it looks like Hoyoverse is still trying to sell more, so let's dive into it. As an erudition unit, Rappa is expected to be good at AoE battles. That's like the bare minimum for someone following this path, right? In this regard, I'd say Hoyoverse has nailed it. Her kit is truly built around that type of battle. A skill that hits all enemies, a stacking mechanic that thrives on having multiple enemies on the field, and an enhanced basic attack that turns this useless single target hit into AoE. When everything lines up, Rappa becomes a beast. I'm talking hundreds of thousands or even 1 million damage easy. Trust me, you'll get eyegasm from looking into this section of your screen. The key to her power lies in her talent. Each time the enemy target is weakness broken, Rappa gains 1 charge, up to a maximum of 10 charges. Each charge increases her break damage multiplier by 50%. So at 10 charges, that would be 500% multiplier increase. This is similar to Boot Hill's pocket trick shot, except his multiplier bonus is a lot smaller to compensate the difference in coefficient between physical and imaginary. If Boot Hill also had a 500% multiplier increase, he'd be one-shotting everything. However, getting that 10 charges consistently is only possible on stages like Pure Fiction, which is specifically made for erudition. Yes, Rappa is very strong in this mode, as she should, maybe the best, if we count the recent changes to Pure Fiction as well. In other modes where stacking charges aren't as easy, she still gets the job done but doesn't feel special anymore. Don't be fooled by her performance in the current MOC. The buff there is clearly tuned to showcase her strength, giving the illusion she's just as dominant outside Pure Fiction. It's all part of Hoyoverse's strategy to drive her sales. Once they change the buff, things will go differently, unless there is somebody who can implant exo toughness to enemies in the future. But speaking of her current state, she is a Pure Fiction specialist. Now let's dive into the spicy stuff. I know you're waiting to hear my take on this matter. Does Rappa power creep Firefly? Surprisingly, these two characters share a lot of similarities, so much so that some of their mechanics overlap. For instance, both ignore elemental matchups, making them versatile across different types of enemies. Both also come with super break damage built into their kits. And when it comes to gearing, they want the same relics, Iron Cavalry set. Their stat requirements and even their ideal team comps are practically the same. In this 1v1 scenario, who's coming on top? In my opinion, they trade blows at E0, with Rappa being slightly better. Firefly's weakness application is superior to Rappa's elemental ignore, since you can bring this team everywhere. Rappa, on the other hand, will need adjustments when fighting enemies not weak to fire. In those situations, Lingsha's toughness reduction becomes useless, which can mess up Rappa's break timing. Similarly, if Rappa goes up against non-imaginary enemies, she may still be able to reduce the toughness, but not with Harmony MC. You will lose this exceptional combo. Those issues could be avoided if it were imaginary implant instead of elemental ignore. That way, her break potential wouldn't be tied to specific scenarios. That said, due to the nature of imaginary break, Rappa's team has more freedom as she can safely drop sustain units from the team and run 3 support characters instead. With this much break effect, Rappa naturally turns into pseudo-sustain. The team also has Ruin Mei, who can delay the enemy's recovery. She is also better at skill point management and energy regeneration, making her easier to play overall. Still, I wouldn't say Rappa outright power creeps Firefly. In terms of raw strength, they're neck and neck. In fact, if we factor in Eidolons, Firefly may even come out on top. What Rappa offers isn't necessarily better performance, it's a different gameplay experience. Her first-person POV after using Ultimate adds a fresh feel to battles, which might appeal to some players. Let's wrap up this video with some financial advice for tomorrow. If you're still struggling with pure fiction, Rappa is your quick solution. She excels in that game mode and will likely remain relevant for a long time. Just because she shares a lot of similarities with Firefly doesn't mean you can't have both on your account. Even if you already own Firefly, Rappa still brings some value. For example, if you're tired of Firefly's straightforward, brute force playstyle, Rappa's first-person POV gameplay might be just the change you need to refresh your mood. Or if you're fighting way too many enemies at the same time, Rappa is more effective than Firefly. So if you're a fan of this beautiful lady who's totally obsessed with ninjutsu, don't hold back, offer your jades to her.